Guys, so today is Saturday and I have a speaking engagement. I didn't even sleep last night. I don't know. I didn't just feel like sleeping. I think I slept by 4 and had to wake up. I had to set alarm to wake up by 8. Was it 8 or 9? I think it was 8 because I needed to clean the house and get ready for the event I have. So I am speaking today at the I don't know, this is dark. So I'm speaking today at the Supabase event in Lagos, and I tried to prep my slides last night so I don't have to do too much work this morning. Thankfully that's out of the way. I really just don't want to do much because if not that this event I'm speaking and then my friend is the organizer, I would have just stayed back in the house and sleep. But yeah, I have to get ready. The event is in about, let's see, in about 40 minutes. Starts by 12. This is 11:17. So I have to be ready before that time. So probably fix my lashes, and I don't know if I want to make up. I sweat a lot, but let's see. Ciao. Okay, so even though I've showered, I always like to use my wipes to clean my face again before any other thing. So let's see how this will go. This session is handled by Jamie and I. So I'll take the most part and he will answer your questions. So a little about me. My name is Mfonobong Umondia, but I like to be called Lady Bella. I am a community and marketing manager who also does Golang on the side. So the reason for that is because I intend to become a developer advocate. So community management is already a greater part of DevRel. So adding some technical skills would help me get to that level. I do write technical articles. I'm a WTM and WTM ambassador and GDG organizer, and I am an entrepreneur. So I own a food brand, Pasta di Cafe, just like this, and a fashion brand. I'm wearing my piece, by the way. So outside of that, I'm building a product on the side. It's called the TM Growth Lab. So for people that are passionate about marketing and community in general, I have something for you. And with my spare time, I do a lot of tech and productivity shenanigans on YouTube. So if you ever come across my video, please subscribe and subscribe to my newsletter, Private Extra. So I'm just going to give an introductory session on Supabase for people that have not heard about it before and why you should use it. My guy at the top here is going to have a more practical session with you. Okay, so most times startups do face some problems. You need to build your product really fast. You need to. Can you hear me by the way? Or is it just my voice? Is this mic working?
No,
it's not working. But you can hear me. Thank God, though. Okay, so in most cases, when startups want to launch their products, they need to build fast, right? Sometimes they want to go in different phases. Phase 1, what are we rolling out in this particular MVP? Phase 2, what are we rolling out? But it's usually in a very fast-paced environment, right? And you also need a robust infrastructure, because in the long run, you will need to scale. You never can tell. Most startups build and fail. Most of them build and then it just blows up. You never can tell what happens. And then you also have to choose between speed and scalability, right? Because imagine you're a startup, just as the name implies. I think everybody at this point feels like startups don't have money. Am I the only person that feels that way? Startups don't have money, so half the time they're bootstrapping. They're trying to see what they can bring together to build a product. And then the backend setup is also one of the biggest bottlenecks for backend developers. You know how that feels. Okay, so why are backends hard? First of all, you want to build fast. Second of all, reliability usually means more time and complexity. The more you're trying to get your product to that step near perfection, it's going to take you more and more time. And most times, you just keep encountering challenges that you're not supposed to encounter. And then, you get to do lots of things in the back end, right? Before I started doing a little bit of Golang, I used to wonder what back-end developers do. I mean, I knew a lot of front-end developers, right? And they could just code out a website and oh my god, it looks so good. And then I transitioned from product design. So I've been a product designer for 4 years before transitioning to marketing, right? So seeing how designs have been translated in the front end used to look so good, but for the back-end developers, I used to wonder, like, what are people even doing self? Until someone had to explain that to me, right? You get to do lots of things. Whether you're launching an MVP or growing a product, the backend typically slows things down. So you need to work on authentication. If a user clicks on sign up, what happens? How do they actually sign up? How do they actually sign in? If I want to make payments, what happens? Right? You need to work on authentication. You need to work on databases, file handling, API endpoints, and you want it to be secure. You don't want a situation where you go to sleep today and tomorrow someone has hacked into the system, right? So there are certain loose ends that you also need to tie, and it has to be scalable. So you can't build for 500 users only. What if you wake up tomorrow and over 10,000 people suddenly believe in your product? What's going to happen? It will crash. And I see that happen a lot with school portals. I don't know if it happens here in England, but it happens. It does, right? It happened in my school portal. I schooled at University of Rio, right? And anytime there's any major registration, even in YC portal, they still have that issue. Anytime there's any major registration, course registration, school fees, oh god. So this is why we say Supabase changes the equation. You're going to discover that as we progress. Okay, so how many of you have seen this page before? Those are the new Supabase fans. Okay, nice. So meet Supabase. It's first of all an open source backend as a service. Jamie already took a little bit of time to explain what open source is, so I'm not going to go deep into that. And then it's built on PostgreSQL. You can get your instant APIs, authentication, storage, real-time and edge functions. It gives you everything you need to build your backend without starting from scratch. How many of you like the sound of that? Like, it can be very stressful to have to figure out everything from scratch, so there was a time when I was still very confused on what to do in the tech industry. Then I started learning Android development. I did Android for about a year before transitioning, about a year or 2 years. Right, so before they launched Kotlin, I was doing Java, right? And there was a time where you have to, so without the Android simulator, on your laptop. You don't even know what is going on. You don't know if the button is shifting to the left, if the button is shifting to the right. You have to figure out how to move that button. Even front-end developers can relate, right? You have to figure out how to move the button, how to position. So imagine now having ready-made code bases that helps set up certain basic things for you to do. I feel like that's like one of the greatest invention of our time. So just like Jamie had mentioned, Supabase is an open source alternative to Firebase, but with SQL under the hood, and a focus on transparency and scalability. So with Supabase, you don't have to worry about scaling. So it helps you modernize the way you build backends. First off, you have fewer third-party dependencies. You don't have to start looking for everything and anything to make your products work. It's self-host, or you can use the Supabase cloud. So you see when they say it's the game changer. And then it has native SQL, so you have reliable queries, relationships, migrations. It's great for modern stacks like React, Flutter, and Next.js for those of you that write those. Supabase replaces multiple services with one cohesive platform. So you get a relational database, authentication, your file storage, real-time updates, and all of that. And then it plays nicely with modern frameworks, front-end frameworks, and tooling. So again, you don't have to start figuring out, how to integrate that with your front end. Okay. So, what are the core components? The first one is the PostgreSQL. First of all, it's powerful and it gives you access to scalable database. And then for the authentication, you can get that your email authentication, the magic links, your zero auth. Then real time, you get your live database subscriptions. For storage, you have your file and media uploads. You don't have to, it's just like saying all in one. So you don't have to start looking out for these things. And then for your edge function components, you can run logic at the edge using TypeScript or Go. Pretty simple. So it wraps up like a powerful tech. It wraps up powerful tech like Postgre and WebSockets into a clean, unified developer experience. You don't need to glue things together. Supabase does that for you. So it's basically a modern backend starter with some kids superpowers. Okay, so how does it fit into your workflow? You don't have to go all in on Supabase. It's pretty easy. So it serves as your entire backend or complements existing infrastructure. And with built-in APIs, SDKs, and real-time support, integration is seamless. So you can use Supabase as your primary backend. You can use it as a drop-in database API player, and you can use it as a real-time engine for notifications and chats. So still in Supabase, you have support for REST and GraphQL, and then client SDKs. So again, we're still going to emphasize all in one. And then Supabase gives you reliability without headache. So you're a developer, you know how stressful it can be for you to set all these things up. Like, it's, let's not talk about that frustration here, but you know how stressful it can be. So Supabase makes every other thing easy for you. In fact, it takes a bunch of the work that you're supposed to do from scratch away. So since it's SQL based, you can do your ASIC compliance, migrations, indexes. The infrastructure is powered by trusted tech. It's not something that is just brought from somewhere and plugged in. These are things that you already use. And then it's real-time powered by replication and WebSockets. You can deploy to Supabase cloud or a self-host via Docker. So you don't even need to leave the Supabase environment. You can do everything with it. So unlike many BaaS platforms, Supabase is grounded in real-world production tech. You get the safety and performance of Postgres, plus the flexibility of modern tooling. And the sweet part, it doesn't sacrifice reliability for speed. So you get everything. Okay. Jamie. Okay. So it's been designed for developers, as we see. You can use it for your auto-generated API docs, your visual dashboard, your GitHub auth in 3 clicks, your local development. It's built for developers who want to move fast. So your database schema becomes a live API with docs. Again. So who is building with Supabase? Startups that are working on MVPs or are working on their first products. Hackers. Do we have any hackers here? Wow. Are we safe? Okay.
Hackers, you mean hackathons or who are
Hack. I mean, I think at some point everyone has done hackathon before now. Yeah, so hackers that are working on their side projects or weekend hacks, enterprise developers, enterprise devs, internal tools, POCs, dev communities like Hashnode, Upright, and the browser company. Supabase isn't just for demos. People are launching startups with it, scaling SaaS products, and even replacing Firebase in production. No hate to Firebase though. It's trusted by fast-moving teams and indie makers alike. So, what you should know is that just like every other tool, features are still evolving. So Supabase does not end here. You get to experience so many other amazing features. And how do you get started? We're going to have a practical session here, but you can simply just visit firebase.com, create a project, connect it to your Firebase. Sorry, Supabase. Oh my god. And I just shaded Firebase few seconds ago. So visit supabase.com, create a project, connect it to your app, and you have a working backend. You can build a full stack project before this talk is even over. But unfortunately, you're not with your laptop. How do you come to an event without your laptop? Okay, so 3 things. Supabase is modern, it's reliable, and it's fast. That is all you need to know about Supabase. And thank you.
Based on the opinions you mentioned, every other thing is quite like a fixable issue, or there's always a workaround around it. And the cool part is, Supabase is always improving. They launch a couple of brand new tools that are really key, brand new updates that are quite good, and they always accept feedback from the consultant. So if you feel that something is bothering you, you can create an issue. You'll be surprised that you create that issue on GitHub. You'll be surprised that
the auth context type, obviously, we are going to be relying a lot on the user, the loading states, the sign up, sign in, and sign out function. You're going to see us use this across different files in this project. Then this is where we create the auth context with like the what I call it the base data. Then this is the